and support begins in 3, 2, 1.
And now, part 2 of Recommendation Madness, featuring the Dorne and Braavos brackets. Round 1.
And we have a couple more guests joining us to do the picks on this one. We have doing the Braavos bracket with Mel will be Ashley. Say hi to everybody, Ashley, and share your Twitter account if you'd like.
Hi, everyone. I'm atypical_Ashley on Twitter.
Had Ashley on before. We'd love to have you back on again sometime for recommendation, but I know that there's extensive research that goes into your recommendation.
There really is. I can't recommend something unless I'm really ready. Maybe I'll get more comfortable in the future, but I do have something in mind, so we'll see.
Cool. And a frequent guest, we have Alicia Schrader joining us now. Alicia, you want to let folks know your Twitter handle?
Sure, yeah, it is at @OAlchemyGirl.
We've given them all the particulars on how this works, and I'm just going to hand it over to Mel and Ashley are going to make their way through the Braavos bracket and go.
All right. Our first two choices are both games. One is a PC game and one is an app. The first one is The Long Dark. It's a PC game by Hinterland Games, and it's a survival game set in the frozen north of Canada where wolves, bears, and the weather try to kill you every day. The game app is Tiny Death Star. It's a tower game set on the Death Star where rebel scum and nerf herders try to steal your secrets.
Well, they both sound very interesting. I have a few pros and cons for each. Like, I'd prefer to play on an app than a PC, but I love Star Wars. And then there's also the Canadian element of the PC game. But ultimately, I am going, what's it called? The Small Death Star?
Tiny Death Star.
Tiny Death Star.
So our next one is also an app and a TV show. The app is called Zombies Run, and essentially you discover the secrets behind the zombie apocalypse by running. It breaks in with a story telling you all about the zombie apocalypse in Able Township while you're running as you listen to it. The TV series is House of Cards, which is a political drama on Netflix starring Kevin Spacey and Robin Wright, where a congressman is out for revenge with his conniving wife.
I have to go with House of Cards.
No problem. So we are trucking right along here. Our next two, one is a book called Fluency by Jen Boner Wells, a.k.a. Jen Thulu on Twitter. She's great. This is a book wherein NASA sends a team up to a derelict spaceship that has been floating around in our solar system in an asteroid belt for a very long time, and we finally have the technology to reach it, and they send a team up with a linguist on board. And the question is, are they alone when they reach this ship, or is there possibly aliens there?
That was my question.
Yes. So our other option is a CD. It's Alice Cooper from the Inside, his album. And basically, this is an Alice Cooper album that is set in a mental ward based on his actual time spent in alcohol rehab.
Now I have a question before I answer this. For each recommendation, is one Kelly's and one yours, Mel?
Yes.
Okay.
But they're both winners. We have all gone through and picked all of our favorites. So they're all winners on here. Now we're leaving it up to impartial people to pick
and
each
Mel
one.
and I, we don't take anything personally. If our picks, it's probably fairly obvious on certain picks who they came from.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's absolutely cool.
So while a CD set in a mental ward sounds amazing, I just cannot get over just wanting to know if there's anyone on that spaceship. So I'm going to have to go with Fluency.
Well, it's been really nice having you with us.
And the screen goes black.
I'm afraid. I think your connection's going.
Oh. So our next two up, one is a game and one is another book. The game is Dragon Age Inquisition by BioWare. It's an RPG in a huge game world with a big story element, lots of characters going on where you can be a human, an elf, a dwarf, a Canary, which are these large horned people who basically run around killing dragons and whatnot, and a book.
What kind of game? Is it a board game? Or?
No, I'm sorry. It's a PC game. It's a Xbox, PlayStation. It's on every major format.
Okay.
So the book is If Chins Could Kill, Confessions of a B-Movie Actor by none other than Bruce Campbell. And Bruce Campbell's pretty much all I need to say here, but he tells a lot of stories about his time filming The Evil Dead, and even gives a recipe for fake blood.
Wow, the book sounds interesting. I would have to go with the game.
Okay.
Dragon Age.
Dragon Age Inquisition. It's a very popular game. So we have, let me see, 1, 2, 3. We have 4 more. We're halfway done. We have another book and a TV series. The book is Thug Kitchen, Eat Like You Give a F. I'm not going to say the word. It is an awesomely profane vegetarian recipe book that really everyone should check out just for the profanity in the vegetarian recipes.
Out of the vast catalog of profane vegetarian cooking.
Yes, there's a lot of them. It's also based on a website, thekitchen.com. The TV series is Danger Mouse, a very fun rollick of a British cartoon featuring a secret agent mouse with a sidekick who is not a mole. You can watch this a lot on YouTube, and I believe Danger Mouse is being brought back in a new series.
And it's also on Netflix.
Well, I will note Danger Mouse, but I am more interested in Thud Kitchen because I'm into this new eating healthy, looking at my Fitbit thing, and I love curse word books, I suppose. So I will go with Thud Kitchen.
All right.
You know who else is interested in good eating? Alice Cooper's interested in good eating. Just saying.
I knew I shouldn't have just Alice Cooper.
It's one of the trials. It's one of the trials of this show.
That was a test to see if there was really no judgment.
He's had to get used to it. So our next two, we have a movie versus a music CD. The movie is called Delicatessen. It is a French film set in a post-apocalyptic world where a former clown works as a handyman in an apartment building above a butcher shop that in the midst of starvation still manages to serve some meat. Interesting.
That sounds very familiar, but...
The movie?
Well, Sweeney Todd going on there.
Possible.
With a clown.
The clown. Yes, he's a former clown.
Ah.
He had a chimpanzee sidekick who didn't survive the apocalypse. Anyway, the music CD is Brian Eno's Ambient 4 on Land. Everybody knows Brian Eno. This is his dark ambient album. You don't know Brian Eno? He's amazing. Have you
ever started a Windows laptop?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know that sound? It's Brian Eno. That's Brian Eno.
That's Brian Eno.
He wrote that.
What about the sound when it just shuts down on you because you didn't charge it?
No, he didn't do that sign.
Oh, okay.
Brian Eno has done movie music, TV show music. He has done everything. He has an amazing website that you can go and create your own music with cool visuals. This is his a dark ambient album. If you're into ambient music at all, this isn't the lighter version to make you feel all happy. This is the dark version.
I like to feel happy.
I've never heard that said sadder.
So I'm just going to go with the Delicatessen. I like former clowns since my husband went to clown school.
Okay.
This we did not know. We need to have you back on and hear more.
Yes. So we don't want him to end up like the clown in Delicatessen.
No. I like my dog.
Yes. Our next one, we have another movie versus a book. The movie is The Prophecy. It stars Christopher Walken as the angel Gabriel, who comes down to Earth to claim an evil soul that's been hidden inside of a little girl so that he can finally win the war in heaven, versus the book, which is called Clockwork Angels by Kevin J. Anderson. This is a coming-of-age story set in a steampunk world, but it's also based on the Rush album of the same name.
Who plays the little girl in The Prophecy?
I don't know her.
No one notable?
No.
So what was the second one? Sorry, can you just review that again?
It's Clockwork Angels written by Kevin J. Anderson, who is great friends with the band Rush. This is the novelization of their album, Clockwork Angels. It's a coming-of-age story about a young boy who lives in a world that is very controlled. It's a steampunk. If you're familiar with steampunk, it's in a steampunk world. He lives in a world that's very controlled, and as he ventures out of that world, he learns all sorts of new things.
I think I'm going to go with that one.
And drum roll, please. Here's our last one for the Braavos bracket. We have a TV series versus a game. The TV series is Dead Set, and it was a British TV series, basically about the zombie apocalypse. Gets televised on the set of Britain's Big Brother show. So the zombie apocalypse hits while they're filming. The game is a PC-only game called Stacking, and you get to play as basically Russian stacking dolls as you're on a quest to save your family from all sorts of evil industry, dark, horrible people. You get to jump into different types of dolls and get different abilities based on the doll that you're in. One of the dolls has a great ability of passing gas. So it's a puzzler.
Well, you really sold me with the dolls because it just sounds unique, and zombies are a little overrated.
Okay, so Stacking gets it. Thank you very much, Ashley, for doing the Braavos bracket.
You're very welcome.
Even if you dissed Alice Cooper, it's okay.
That's right. You got it mostly right. There was a big problem with one. No, again, and we can't stress enough. This is not just which one first, because it's just and it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to move into the Dorne bracket, Alicia. You ready?
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, I had mentioned there wasn't any Dorne trivia required to do it, but I lied. So I need you to name 4 members of the Martell family before we can begin. No, just kidding. All right, we will begin with the first pairing in the Dorne bracket is The Blacklist, which is James Spader, featuring James Spader as a snarky criminal mastermind known as the concierge of crime. And he turns himself into the FBI, kind of cuts a deal. All sorts of adventure and cleverness ensues. Versus Bubba Hotep, which is the story that Elvis didn't die. He swapped places with an Elvis impersonator, and he's in an East Texas retirement home where he pairs up with a gentleman, an African-American gentleman who thinks he's John F. Kennedy, and they fight a 3,000-year-old mummy, Bubba Hotep.
Okay. All right. I'm going to have to pick Bubba Hotep because it is a favorite of mine. I'd love to watch it again. I would even have a Bubba Hotep party if I knew enough people that would come over and watch it with me. I've heard a lot of good things about The Blacklist, so curiosity is piqued. However, I'm going to stick with Bubba Hotep.
We would all come to the Bubba Hotep party.
Yay!
If only you were closer to me.
No. Yeah, both Mel and Ashley have a trip.
Yeah, we have to do a Google Hangout Bubba Hotep party.
Yep.
All right, number 2. First one is a television show called Farscape, and this was on Sci-Fi. The space adventure involves a sentient ship, a frog prince, and the really cool thing about this is that many of the main characters are Muppets. They're from the Jim Henson Factory doing it, but not the Kermit the Frog stick Muppets, but the really cool Dark Crystal Muppets.
Ooh,
so Farscape, which is like a super awesome science fiction one, and its opponent is Lamb, The Gospel According to Biff, Christ's Childhood Pal by Christopher Moore. And this is the story of Biff, who was, unbeknownst to many of us, apparently a very good friend of Jesus, and he tells the story of Christ. I don't think it's probably canon. Be my guess.
Okay, well, being a longtime Muppets fan, I don't think I could not be interested in Farscape. I've even written it down so that I remember to go check this thing out.
All right.
So I picked Farscape.
Excellent. Not that there's a bad choice, but that was a great choice. So for the next one, it's a podcast. Stuff You Should Know. Stuff You Should Know kind of comes from the family of How Stuff Works, but it's the podcast where you've got 2 individuals, Josh and Chuck, and they explain things in fun, engaging ways in very approachable language. Things like, what are bitcoins? What is the deep web? And what would happen if the world stopped spinning? So we've got that. Yes, bad. That's my hunch. Spoiler. Versus, and I found not oddly enough the Dorne, and Alicia knows this given her deep experience with Dorne and their religiousness in Dorne. There's a quite a bit of kind of religious-related things in this bracket, because here comes one right now. We got Stuff You Should Know versus, and it's matched up against Sangrada, The Mystery of Creation, which is a documentary film about a cathedral that Gaudi designed and is being built in Barcelona, Spain, and is targeted for completion sometime in 2027. And so it's been being built for a very, very long time. And it's a very fascinating architecture, and Gaudi's a very interesting architect, and it's a bit of the story behind that and the process to keep building this amazingly strange and beautiful cathedral. So Sangrada, Mystery of Creation, and Stuff You Should Know.
Right. And did you say it is a documentary?
Yeah.
This is a documentary.
Okay. I have listened to Stuff You Should Know. I enjoy it quite a bit. I think it's very good. However, I think I'm going to choose, I don't want to mispronounce, Sangrada.
Sagrada.
Not Sangria.
No.
Not Sangria.
Okay. Sangrada. I picked that one, just because I love architecture and all that good stuff. It sounded really interesting.
It's on Netflix.
Netflix.
Okay, and the next.
This is an impossible choice. I just want to say.
I don't know how she's going to pick, and
I don't know.
These are both on Netflix. They're both on Netflix. Unfortunately, the second option's only on Canadian Netflix. So
what? Oh, okay. Well, also if you pair them with a snack, that might help me too. So if we have to come to that, like it goes with the snack or the snack, that might help.
Okay.
I can do that.
Okay.
So the first one is Snowpiercer, and Snowpiercer is an adventure movie set in the future, post-apocalypse. You got a train. They were trying to fix global warming, kind of overdid it. The entire world's a big ice ball right now, except for this super awesome train that's constantly circling the globe. And a class system has been built within the train, where the back of the train is not where you want to be and not got the kind of food you want to eat, and the front of the train is a bunch of kind of officials and well-to-do people and well-heeled, and they're all spoiled in the front of the train, back of the train, not so good. Fascinating, really, really cool thing. And the snack with that, of course, would be a snow cone. And then for Mike Tyson, another one is Mike Tyson Murder Mysteries, which is a cartoon series featuring Mike Tyson as the leader of a Scooby-Doo-like group of people who solve mysteries, which includes his 16-year-old Korean daughter, which he sometimes confuses as a Chinese daughter, the ghost of the Marquis of Queensberry, who set the rules for boxing, and someone else, but that's enough to give you an idea. So it's Mike solving,
voiced by Mike Tyson.
But it's actually Mike Tyson actually does a Mike Tyson voice, and of course the snack with that, pigeon pie. So, and a talking pigeon is the fourth member of the group.
Yes.
Voiced by Norm Macdonald.
Oh wow! All right. Well, I'm actually having no problem at all choosing the second one, the Mike Tyson voice cartoon, just because I can't even. I'm so surprised that's real. Like, I'm so excited that that's real. That's why I choose it.
Okay.
I like snow cones, though. I kind of wish it was paired with the snow cone, but I understand. You can't have it all.
That's right. No more snacks the rest of the bracket, sorry.
Yeah. All right.
So next up, we got a book. It's actually a comic book, and it's a web comic. Lots of different media for it, and it's called Girl Genius.
Okay.
The Gaslamp fantasy with adventure, romance, and mad science. Victorian steampunk. It's adventure, zeppelins, and beautifully drawn and a really exciting story.
Ooh, okay. So far, I like that one.
Grant, you should like all these. And then Grant Thompson's The King of Random. And so The King of Random is a YouTube series where Grant gives you different tips, like how to make a multi-fire finger rubber band shooter, or how to build a forge to melt aluminum, or how to build a rocket out of duct tape.
This decision I'm finding harder than the previous.
There's a lot of mad science in both of these.
Yeah. You said the second one's a YouTube series?
Mm-hmm.
It's just YouTube videos.
It's a YouTube channel.
Okay. And the other one is a comic.
It's a comic. It's a web comic book.
Yeah, it comes in either a book format or it's a web comic. You can go to the website where they release all the new ones.
Wow. I'm interested in both of them. So I have to make a choice?
Yes.
Yes, you do. I'm going to pick the first one, the Girl Genius.
Right.
Just because it sounds like something that I wish I wrote. Yeah.
And the website goes all the way back. You go to it, you go to the archives, and you can start right on episode 1. Next one up, movie Big Ass Spider, which is a movie about a big ass spider that attacks and destroys a lot of things. Sci-fi original movie, quite possibly the best sci-fi original movie in these families in terms of really funny actors, talented, well written, and you get a buddy team fighting these giant spiders, and they're hilarious. And it's worth the first 4 minutes of this movie. Make the whole thing worthwhile. It's the best 4 minutes of a
Best
sci-fi
opening
Okay.
ever.
versus Frank Zappa's Joe's Garage, Acts 1, 2, and 3. This is an album by Frank Zappa about a gentleman named Joe who had a band, who ran afoul with the evil government, who didn't like music, who gets thrown in prison and goes insane with guitar solos. Lots and lots of guitar solos.
All right. See, that's what makes it difficult. Like, the second one is a little more something that I would probably seek out myself, music related. The first one, however, I don't know, you guys really sold it with the first 3 minutes, or, like, I'm super interested. And the title, right? I think I'm going Spider. I'm going to go Spider.
All right. You don't want to say Big Ass Spider? It's okay. I'll say Big Ass Spider.
Spider for sure.
Spider for sure. 2 movies next. 2 movies that couldn't be more different and further apart. The first one is The Ruling Class, starring Peter O'Toole. The movie opens up. It's a well-to-do British family. Someone who's a lord in the British government puts on a tutu and hangs himself in his room. So they need to replace him. And his heir apparent isn't the most sound mentally individual, played by Peter O'Toole. He thinks he's Jesus Christ in a leisure suit and sleeps on a cross in the house. They try and get him into the British government, and there's a toe-tapping version of Dem Bones during the song. They break into song at random parts of the movie. Versus Mad Max, Fury Road, where there's also a lot of guitar playing, as a previous recommendation. They don't really break into song much that I'm aware of, but just an action-packed, top-to-bottom continuation of the Mad Max series without Mel Gibson, obviously, at this point.
Explosions.
Action galore, explosions,
Desert.
great cinematography,
Yeah.
bad guys, good people.
Yeah. Beast from X-Men. He's in it.
Yep.
That actor. Yeah. So this is interesting because I actually just watched that movie on the way home from Jamaica. It was different. I liked it. It was very intense, but really interesting. So I think I'm going to go with the first one, the Peter O'Toole movie, just because I haven't seen it.
The Ruling Class.
The Ruling Class.
Ruling Class.
They always win.
That's right. Darn British. And to finish off the Dorne bracket, music versus a movie here. We've got the Kinks, Misfits, the album Misfits by the Kinks, which includes, I believe, the only ballad or song about getting a permanent, having your hair curled, and being proud of it, called Permanent Waves, Toe Tapper.
I love the Kinks.
Also, in keeping with the kind of religious theme of Peter O'Toole thinking he's Jesus and Lamb, there's a song called Black Messiah on the Misfits as well, which is done in kind of a ragtime thing. Versus Big Hero 6, one of the more recent Disney films, super lovable, awesome robot adventure story there. I think you're familiar. So
I am. Wow, I'm a fan of all of those things. So, are you saying Big Hero 6 is the soundtrack?
No, this is the movie.
Okay, the movie. Oh, gosh. Okay. Big Hero 6, I adore. Cried 3 times, if not more than that. So, I think I'm going to choose the Kinks. I'm a big fan of the Kinks. Also, I know I would learn something here. I find out something that's different that I didn't know. So I like that about it.
Well, thank you both. This was really fun. You both did excellent work, except for one pick, which we're not going to dwell on.
Round 2.
And now we move on to the second round of both the Braavos and Dorne brackets. And joining us, friend of the show, you hear him every show. You hear me say nice things about him occasionally on shows. Our good friend, sometimes. It's our good friend, Matt Shivers. How are you, Matt?
Great. How are you?
Doing well. We appreciate you helping us out. We're going through the Braavos and Dorne brackets.
Okay.
Mel is keeper of the Braavos bracket, so I am going to hand it over to Mel, and she's going to take you through the 4 matchups remaining in the Braavos bracket.
Yeah, I suspect I'm a deep, deep shame to the Bravos bracket. But anyway, let's see. We are starting out with our first 2 options are Tiny Death Star versus House of Cards. Tiny Death Star is an app game similar to Tiny Tower that is based on Star Wars. Obviously, you are building up a Death Star trying to keep the rebel scum from stealing its secrets. House of Cards is a political drama on Netflix starring Kevin Spacey and Robin Wright, where a congressman is out to get revenge. Which would you choose?
I am going to choose House of Cards.
It's Robin Wright, isn't it?
It's partly Robin Wright. That's a great show. I love that show. We were captivated by it in my house. Love Star Wars too. I mean, we're obviously going to get our fill of Star Wars very, very soon. I'm very happy about that. But there's just something about that show. So I'm going with House of Cards.
Cool. Our next 2 options are a book called Fluency by Jennifer Wells and a game, Dragon Age Inquisition by BioWare. Fluency is essentially the story of a NASA mission to a pseudo-derelict spaceship that has been floating in an asteroid belt in our solar system for many decades, and they're not quite sure if it's empty or if there might be something on board. So they send a linguist along with the NASA astronauts to possibly interpret in case they're not alone. Dragon Age Inquisition is a game where you hunt dragons, fight the forces of evil, have a cool green glowing mark on your hand, and close fade rifts while beating up bad guys and stealing their loot.
I am going to go with Fluency because I am a sucker for those stories, for those what's maybe on this derelict spaceship stories. And I like the idea that they're taking a linguist with them on the off chance that we might actually be able to communicate with whatever they may or may not find. So Fluency is my pick.
Cool.
So you are aware Tiny Death Star is a spaceship, right?
Yes.
Did you want to go back and revisit that previous decision?
No, you know why? Because I think we're all pretty familiar with what happens to a Death Star eventually.
All right.
Isn't C-3PO a linguist as well?
Protocol droid, yes.
Protocol droid, yeah. He speaks Bocce. We know that.
They're really the same thing. The book and the Tiny Death Star, they're really the same thing.
It's the same story. I never realized that.
We have a very inconsistent picker here. Interesting. Okay.
Variety is the spice of life. Why would I want to go with the same thing over and over again?
Okay.
Absolutely.
Which
Okay.
doesn't explain why I appear on the show so often.
Because Kelly needs free stuff, maybe.
Right? Right.
Okay. Our next 2 choices are a book, Thug Kitchen, Eat Like You Give a F, and a movie, Delicatessen. The book, Thug Kitchen, is based off the website of the same name. It is a very profane vegetarian recipe book that everyone should check out. Delicatessen is a French post-apocalyptic film where a clown moves in as a handyman above a butcher shop that somehow, in a meatless world, is still managing to serve meat.
Yep. Going with Thug Kitchen. Definitely Thug Kitchen.
All right.
I don't like clowns.
I don't like clowns either, but, you know.
No comment, Kelly.
I need stuff, man.
He's trying so hard to bite his tongue. Right. It's adorable.
It's hard to be nice.
Eating him alive from the inside.
We can all see it. Too bad this is an audio-only broadcast, folks.
That's right.
All right, our final 2 picks in the Braavos bracket is a book called Clockwork Angels by Kevin Anderson and a game called Stacking. Clockwork Angels is a steampunk coming-of-age story where a young man lives in a very controlled society that he ventures outside of and starts to learn some secrets about what's really going on. Stacking is a game, a PC game, where you play as Russian stacking dolls in a factory trying to save your family, and you get to jump into all sorts of different dolls with different special powers in order to achieve your goals. And just as an added bonus, one of the dolls' special powers is farting.
So I was totally gonna go with the first one, but the last special ability farting doll,
Yes.
that sold me. We're gonna go with stacking on this one.
Awesome.
That fart's got a lot of play.
It-
That has been a attitude changer.
Yeah, they're not that interested till they hear about that one, and then they really go for it. So,
It was like a last-second shot to sway the game.
It's working.
so that's the Bravos bracket for round 2 of the Bravos bracket.
Excellent. And I will move into round 3 of the Dorne bracket. We got 4 picks for you here, Matt, and we'll get started with the first one, which is Bubba Hotep versus Farscape. So Bubba Hotep, it's the same old story we've heard a million times. Elvis didn't really die. It was an Elvis impersonator. Elvis is living in an East Texas retirement home with an African-American gentleman who thinks he's John F. Kennedy, and they fight a 3,000-year-old mummy. Versus Farscape, where it's a space adventure with a sentient ship and really diverse characters that are Jim Henson creations. So this isn't the goofy Sesame Street Jim Henson. This is the really cool Dark Crystal Jim Henson kind of stuff. So you've got really kind of cool characters. I think one of the first ones where this was done as major characters in it. So Farscape space adventure with cool Muppets versus Bubba Hotep.
So you're kind of bearing the lead here because not once did you mention Bruce Campbell.
That's true. Who does an outstanding Elvis impersonation. Right,
and Ossie Davis is great as JFK. That's a fantastic film. Love Bruce Campbell, love Bubba Hotep. I love that style of filmmaking, and this might be taking a punch off of my geek card, but I wasn't a Farscape fan. I never really watched it. I know people love it. People are passionate. Mel is having a seizure right now. I understand that. I'm sure it's great. It wasn't really on my radar. Maybe I'll go back and watch it. I know the fans are still screaming for more Farscape. Respect that. But wasn't really into it. Love me some Bruce Campbell. Gonna go with Bubba Hotep. Sorry, Mel.
And everybody, that was Matt Shiver.
We're so happy. I'm afraid we're out of picks. I don't know what happened here.
Oh my goodness.
You're the second person we had to kick off. So Mel and I each have one bounce so far.
I was gonna say now we know who the real boss is.
There you go. Okay, round 2, hopefully with less drama. And I am going to say, Mel, I don't know if you'll agree or not, but I think of all of the picks that we've offered so far, I think these are the 2 most starkly different picks that we've got off.
I agree.
Okay.
All right, what do we have here?
So, Matt, you're going to be choosing between Sagrada, The Mystery of Creation, which is a documentary about Gaudi's Cathedral Sagrada.
Okay.
And Mike Tyson Mysteries, which is Mike Tyson as the leader for Scooby-Doo. So a little description. Sagrada, it's a documentary. It's a cathedral Gaudi was building. It's due to complete, in the next 20 years or so. So it's been a bit of a long project. Tremendous architecture, amazing. And they go through all the way from its origination to kind of showing how the different gates have started to come up and the process they go through to continue to build this incredible piece of architecture. It's a documentary describing that. Versus Mike Tyson Mysteries, where you have Mike Tyson, his adopted Korean daughter, the Marquis of Queensberry, and a talking pigeon solving mysteries like Scooby-Doo, and the Mike Tyson character is actually voiced by Mike Tyson.
Yeah, so the architecture is all very interesting and all, but I think I'm going to go with Mike Tyson on this one. I apologize to all of our artsy folks how dare he choose Mike Tyson over architecture. I'm sorry, that's just hilarious. I might be going bottom of the barrel on this one, but it's a race to the bottom of the barrel for me right now.
Down goes Gaudi. Down goes Gaudi.
Way down!
It's okay, Matt. When you chose farts earlier, I think you already set the tone.
Yeah. And that tone is F sharp.
Yes, indeed. So, moving on next. Your selections are going to be between Girl Genius, a gas lamp fantasy with adventure, romance, and mad science versus Big Ass Spider. So, Big Ass Spider, science fiction movie, sci-fi. It's about a big-ass spider, one of their best.
It's in the title right there.
Yeah, it's it's a well-constructed, it stay true to themselves. Mel and I argued some of probably the best 5-minute intro of any sci-fi movie ever. Yep. Really good stuff. Girl Genius, this is steampunky. It's a web comic and a comic and a book It's got kind of mystery and detective work and Victorian underwear and steampunk and mad science. And it's beautiful. It's just really, really well done.
I'm gonna go with Girl Genius. That's gonna be my pick. Steampunk and Victorian era mystery. I like that. Taking absolutely nothing away from Big Ass Spider, but I think Big Ass Spider's got a lot of mentions on this show, and it doesn't need love from me. So Girl Genius.
That was a hard choice, though.
Yeah, it was.
So no big ass spider love from Matt.
Well, no.
That just
Not
sounds wrong. I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
I think the world's a better place if there's not any big ass spider love from Matt.
Hey, what's the next pick?
Oh, that's a great segue to the. And this comes from over the pond. We had a couple that kind of tied up. So we have the movie The Ruling Class versus the Kinks album Misfits. The Ruling Class was a movie starring Peter O'Toole, where it starts off one of his uncles is in the House of Lords. He puts on a tutu and hangs himself in the first scene, and so Peter O'Toole is the next heir apparent to move into his seat. Unfortunately, there appears to be some issues in the family running all over the place, and Peter O'Toole thinks he's Jesus and sleeps on a cross in his large home. And they tried to teach him he's not Jesus, and he sings Dem Bones in a rousing. They break into song at random parts throughout there. And then the Kinks Misfits is an outstanding album by the Kinks. Features what I believe is the only song about the permanent haircut, permanent hairstyle, and how cool it is, called Permanent Waves, and kind of a Lola variation called Out of the Wardrobe. But it's just good Kinks stuff. So find Kinks album called Misfits or The Ruling Class starring Peter O'Toole.
People don't know that The Ruling Class was actually a documentary about Peter O'Toole. Did you know that? No, that's not true
That
at all.
makes sense.
I'm going with The Ruling Class. I love Peter O'Toole, and that is my pick.
Excellent. So we've got there's going to be some first really great excitement a little later in the Dorne bracket. But you'll have none of that, Matt. So
I like that I'm laying that groundwork for chaos, though. I like that.
Yeah. You've set up for greater adventures.
Round 3.
And we move on to the next rounds of the Braavos and Dorne brackets. And to assist us with those brackets, we have Amber Osborne, owner of the most awesome Twitter handle out there, Miss Destructo. Say hi to everybody, Amber.
Howdy.
Looking forward to having you. You've got some work ahead of you. It's only 4 picks, but there's going to be some challenges here, so looking forward to it. So Mel's going to just take off right now into the Braavos bracket and offer them up.
All right, yeah, because we're in. What round are we in? You know, this is sports. I don't get it. What round are we in?
This is the 3rd round of the Braavos and Dorne brackets.
So we're in round 3 of Braavos. These are hard choices, Amber. I don't envy you. We're going to jump right in there. Our first 2, one is a TV show, House of Cards. The second one is a book, Fluency by Jen Wells. So House of Cards, if you're not familiar, is a political drama on Netflix starring Kevin Spacey and Robin Wright, basically about a congressman out for some revenge, doing bad things. The book, Fluency by Jen Wells, is basically a story where NASA sends a team of astronauts with a linguist to a supposedly derelict spaceship that's been lingering in our asteroid belt for many, many decades. And they're not quite sure when they get there if they're alone or not, hence the linguist. It's a little suspense story.
This is interesting. So, I have to be honest, I've never really seen House of Cards other than maybe 10 minutes of it. And I'm always up for a good space adventure book. Kevin Spacey's awesome, though. So I'm going to have to go with House of Cards because of Kevin Spacey alone.
There's no wrong answers here.
Unless it's like Kevin Spacey in space. So it'd be Spacey in space.
That would be cool.
That would actually be pretty good.
This next one is going to end the Braavos bracket for you today. Our next choice is also between a book and a video game.
Yes.
The book is Thug Kitchen, Eat Like You Give a F, versus the PC game Stacking. So, Thug Kitchen, the cook is a awesomely profane cookbook.
Yes.
Featuring vegetarian recipes based off the Thug Kitchen website. The game is called Stacking, and you play as Russian stacking dolls in a steampunk-type universe. Trying to escape a factory to save your family, you jump into all of these different nesting dolls and utilize their special skills, which one of them is a real winner, we have found. One of the dolls' special ability is farting, and you utilize these abilities to escape the warehouse, save your family. So Thug Kitchen versus stacking.
Well, I'm all about farting Russian dolls, but I am more about eating. And I love the Thug Kitchen book. I actually got it for my sister for her birthday. Highly recommend it because it makes a good gift for anybody, and it's freaking hilarious. So I'm going to have to go with Thug Kitchen. However, I do want to go check out that game because that sounds hilarious.
It is. All right, so that concludes round 3 of the Braavos bracket. Now it's time for Kelly.
So we move into the Dorne bracket, and I don't know what to say. This is going to be, it's impossible to pick. There's no way. I don't know what you're going to do. So I just, with this first one here, I'm going to wish you luck, but I don't know what you're going to do. So the choices are a movie, Bubba Hotep, and a television series, The Mike Tyson Mysteries. So Bubba Hotep, if you're not familiar, is the story of JFK and Elvis fighting a 3,000-year-old mummy from a Texas nursing home, where Elvis had switched places with an Elvis impersonator and had the papers to switch back destroyed in a freak propane accident. And so he was trapped in this nursing home with a gentleman, Ozzie Davis, who's African-American, who's JFK, and they fight a 3,000-year-old mummy. There's that.
That sounds like a typical Friday to me.
That's kind of the same old story we've all heard before, versus a Mike Tyson murder mysteries, which is exactly as advertised. It's an animated series done in the Scooby-Doo fashion, featuring and voiced by Mike Tyson, as voiced by Mike Tyson, where it's Mike Tyson in a Scooby-Doo style mystery-solving thing, along with the Marquis of Queensberry, who developed the rules for boxing, Mike Tyson's 16-year-old adopted Korean daughter, and a talking pigeon voiced by Norm Macdonald. So the four of them fight crime and solve mysteries.
Oh my. Well, Bubba Hotep sounds amazing just because, it's not exactly normal. And I believe it has Bruce Campbell in it too, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
Yeah. So I think
he does a great Elvis.
I think I've actually seen that or parts of it, probably very late at night. But I just gotta say, I really want to hear Mike Tyson try to read a script. So I think I'm going to have to go with the Mike Tyson murder mysteries, because Norm Macdonald, come on. You can't.
Outstanding.
It's going to be weird.
Actually, in one of it, I think it was actually the first episode, they had to deal with a chupacabra.
Yes.
Which required Mike Tyson to say chupacabra a lot. And the characters in the show said, that's a tough word for him. So it was pretty cool.
I'm pretty sure
right.
the writers just add words in there to go oh, hey, let's try to make Mike Tyson say this word.
All righty. Well, you made it. That was a tough one.
Yay!
And the final pairing for you tonight in the Dorne bracket is a book, web comic called Girl Genius, a gas lamp fantasy with adventure, romance, and mad science, webcomic, and versus a movie, The Ruling Class. Girl Genius is done in kind of the gas lamp milieu, if you will. Very steampunky. It's got kind of a Jules Verne kind of feel to it. Lots of Victorian era stuff, and they basically, as you say, they solve, they deal with all sorts of challenges and mystery fighting and all those types of things. Very cool steampunk and Jules Verne-esque things. Beautiful, incredibly well illustrated comic. Versus The Ruling Class, which is a movie starring Peter O'Toole. This was, the movie starts off with a stately English gentleman who's a lord who comes back home to his estate, puts on a tutu, and hangs himself. And so they need to replace him with a member of his family. Unfortunately, the next member of his family is struggling to figure out if he's Jesus or Jack the Ripper. He thinks he's Jesus most of the time, so he sleeps on a cross in the room and is known to break into songs like during a fox hunt where he sings, "Disconnect them bones, them dry bone," in a big song and dance number. So you've got The Ruling Class versus Girl Genius, gas lamp fantasy with adventure, romance, and mad science.
Oh my. I'm gonna have to go with that movie. I need to see that. That sounds awesome. That sounds like my childhood.
Really? Well,
I'm from Florida.
Wow. So that, I've got to tell you, is we like all of our picks that we put in for this. We think they're all good, but there's been a couple that have surprised us that have lingered as long as they have. Yeah. And The Ruling Class has done very well. We're happy for it.
Awesome.
Well, Amber, thank you very much. You've got us through we are now at the Elite 8 of our picks, so we only have a few more to go before we crown a recommendation champion.
Glad to help.
Final rounds.
And we are back for what I'm going to call the extra special 8, because I'm not really sure if I can say Elite 8, but that's what it is. But we'll call it extra special just to make sure. We are at the home stretch of the recommendation madness. Are you still as excited as you were when you began, Mel?
Yes, absolutely. Can't you see me oozing enthusiasm, excitement? I am ready. I am ready. This sports thing, I'm totally into sports now. Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah, you bet. My pleasure. But a sincere pleasure to have joining us John and Helena McGevna, good friends of the show, been guests a couple times, have been regular listeners to the show and great supporters. We're so appreciative. And we couldn't think of any group of people better than John and Helena to allow us to wrap up this tournament. So why don't you each say hello, Helena? Why don't you start and share your Twitter account, and then John, and then we will get going.
Hi, everybody. I'm Helena, and I'm at Helly McGee on Twitter.
And hi, everybody. I'm John McGevna. It's at McGevna, McGevna. And it's great to be here with Kelly and Mel, and we're looking forward to making our picks this evening. Hope everyone agrees with them.
That's the joy of all of this.
Yeah, we've been saying we love all these recommendations. There are no wrong answers. Please ignore the fact that I have threatened to kick off 2 people who have done guesses in this for wrong answers, and Mel, I believe, also has 1.
Yes.
But there really aren't any wrong answers, and we appreciate your help. So folks have been listening through here. We've got 4 brackets: King of the North, Clegane, Braavos, and Dorne. We're going to have John do the picks for King of the North and Clegane, and then Helena do Braavos and Dorne, and that'll get us down to our Fantastic 4, and then we'll mix things up a little further. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over and let Mel do the final 2 of the King of the North bracket.
All right, John. Are you ready?
I sure am, Mel.
This is going to be a hard one.
Okay.
Our last 2 in the King in the North bracket. We have a Facebook group versus a TV show. The Facebook group is actually Laura Dale is a very pleasant person. Laura Dale, as everyone should know by now, is an actress who plays in some of our favorite sci-fi movies, but she tends to play a very unpleasant woman who also tends to die in all of her movies. So this Facebook group has been put out there to convince the world that she's actually not so bad. She can be very pleasant, and we would like her to live all the way through at least 1 movie. The TV show is called The Fades. It aired on BBC. It is about a young man who can see ghosts, and this is shortly before the ghost apocalypse happens. The ghosts are trying to take over the world and basically get physical form again, and he's one of the few people that can see them and has to try to stop them. So which one do you think you're going to give the King in the North bracket to?
Okay, looking at these 2, Mel and Kelly and everyone, 2 very good contenders. The Fades has real potential and real strength and potential to be very exciting and very major player in the Final 4. But I look at Laura Dale, and I've seen her work on sci-fi movies, and she makes a great villainess, and I think she'd do really, really well as a heroine, maybe as one of our scientist heroes in a sci-fi movie with the tank top and the glasses. And she deserves that break. I mean, she's done a body of good work, and this Facebook group is really supportive, and I hope enough people out in the sci-fi world and in Hollywood pay attention to it and get Laura picked up. We had done that for another friend previously and gotten him noticed in a particular way. So my pick tonight, as you can maybe tell, I'm going with Laura Dale.
All right. Laura Dale wins again.
The Cinderella story continues. I will move on to the Clegane bracket. 2 very strong contenders here. We've got number 1, Google Cardboard. Google Cardboard is virtual reality on the cheap. You get a nice little kit. You get to build your own little, what looks, as Mel has pointed out, looks like a Viewmaster. You put your cell phone in it, download some software, and you basically can do virtual reality at home nice and easy. Ride a roller coaster, fly over Google Maps, all kinds of really, really cool stuff. So Google Cardboard, VR for everybody. Versus Adam Hurst, who is cello music for everybody. Adam Hurst is a tremendous musician. He's a cellist. His music is this combination of East meets West. So it's kind of Eastern influence music and Western influence music fused together. Beautiful, soothing, tremendous music, unique, and just incredibly well done. So you have a musical choice, Adam Hurst. World Cello Music versus Google Cardboard.
Okay, the Google Cardboard is a really it's a neat little program, and it has real potential. And Adam Hurst, in his fusion of East and West, and very soothing, very healing, I think shows a lot more creativity, and he deserves, I think, our support more than the huge corporation of Google, who just wants to pull us into more and nefarious apps on their on their site. But Adam, I'm a big fan of healing music and that kind of the cello music. So I'm going to put Adam Hurst into my pick for the final four.
I knew I liked you.
You know, there may be a larger cello conspiracy out there, so let's see. We'll have to see. Excellent.
Cellists out to rule the world.
So we have two of our Fantastic Four, the Laura Dale Facebook group and Adam Hurst. Helena, you're up now. You're going to help us through the Braavos and Dorne brackets. Mel has been saying grace over Braavos, and I will have her continue to do so.
Our last two contenders in the Braavos bracket are a TV show versus a book. The TV show is called House of Cards. It's a political drama on Netflix starring Kevin Spacey and Robin Wright. There's politics, intrigue, lots of bad politics. And it's on Netflix, which is virtually free, sort of. The book is a cookbook called Thug Kitchen. Eat like you give a F. It's awesomely profane vegan food. What's better than that? So, Helena, who gets it?
Well, having spent 25 years kind of living House of Cards and not having to do it anymore, I'm going to vote for Thug Kitchen because in my heart of hearts, I am a little thug.
Nice.
How could you betray our own?
I like you too.
All right. One less to get our Fantastic Four. A Dorne bracket, Helena. Quite a selection you have here. So we'll start off with Mike Tyson Mysteries. Mike Tyson Mysteries is a cartoon series done in the Scooby-Doo format, featuring a character named Mike Tyson, voiced by Mike Tyson, a talking pigeon, the Marquis of Queensberry, who kind of documented the rules of boxing, and Mike Tyson's 16-year-old adopted Korean daughter, which I don't believe is actually true, but for the purposes of the show. And they solve mysteries, and Mike gets confused, and Mike struggles saying words like chupacabra. Versus The Ruling Class, where The Ruling Class is a movie starring the magnificent Peter O'Toole. It begins where you have a very sophisticated English gentleman returning to his manor in all of his finery. He gets up to his bedroom, he changes into a military jacket and a tutu, and hangs himself accidentally. And he's in the House of Lords, so he needs to be replaced. The nearest blood relation to replace him is Jack, and Jack isn't sure if he's Jesus Christ or Jack the Ripper. He tends to think he's Jesus Christ a little bit more, so he sleeps on a large cross, and is prone to breaking into songs like during a fox hunt where he sings, "Disconnect them bones, them dry bones." So Peter O'Toole movie, song and dance, craziness, Mike Tyson Mysteries.
I think that if Peter O'Toole had face tattoos, I might be more inclined to consider him. So I'm going to go with Mike Scooby-Doo Tyson.
I like that.
What would a Peter O'Toole face tattoo be? I don't know.
Well, yeah, one can only wonder.
A flower. I think it would be a flower.
Little crowns.
Oh, there you
And
go.
I have this picture in my head of some British member of the royalty dressed in an army jacket and a tutu. I can't get that out. I can't shake that for some reason.
It's a look.
It is a look. I mean,
All right, our Fantastic Four is the Laura Dale Facebook group. Adam Hurst, Thug Kitchen, Eat Like You Give a Profanity, as introduced by one of our two hosts, and Mike Tyson Mysteries, also with profanities. So now we're going to mix it up a little bit. We had John doing the picks up there. We're going to flip it around and have actually Helena take us through to get one semifinalist, and John, then you'll do the next one. And so, Mel, you want to take Helena through?
Okay, Helena, your choices are the Actually Laura Dale is a Very Pleasant Person Facebook group versus Adam Hurst cello music.
I love the cello music, but, Team Laura Dale.
Laura Dale.
So, again, we had said we loved all these recommendations, but if you were to ask Mel and I to put $100 down on which would be one of the two recommendations going for it. It might not.
We'd have owed all of you money a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's been interesting. So cool.
It is great.
So John, you got some serious thinking to do here.
I do.
Two really good ones. So again, you got Thug Kitchen, Eat Like You Give an F versus Mike Scooby-Doo Tyson Mysteries.
Well, I tell you, Kelly, I do like to eat. I do like my vittles. I'm sure there's some really good recipes in there, but Helena has a lot of good cookbooks, and she's the chief cook here, and I accept that she likes Thug Kitchen. But I look at Mike Tyson and all that he has been through in all his life, and to come out with this really fun show that he has, a version of Scooby-Doo with his 16-year-old Korean, or she was Korean, I think, daughter.
Yeah, he's not sure, but apparently she
is Korean daughter. I can see where Mike might be confused. And he has that great facial tattoo. I'm giving it tonight to Mike Tyson.
So what an interesting final. The Pleasant Laura Dale versus Mike Tyson.
That's right. So if this was going to be decided by feats of strength, I think we know how it's going to go.
Yep.
But it's not. It's going to be decided, and for the final twist of the night, and this is Mel's idea because she's a troublemaker, is that we are going to require the two of you to reach agreement for our final winner. So we now have the Laura Dale Facebook group. Actually, Laura Dale is a very pleasant person. Mike Tyson Mysteries, the Laura Dale versus Mike Tyson. We'll allow you two to discuss this, and when you're ready, tell the world the winner.
And if y'all need to go arm wrestle, that's okay. Or Helena, if you need to go beat John, okay.
Don't encourage us. You might actually come down here and beat on me.
We don't care how you come to an agreement, just,
Whatever method you feel is most appropriate.
That's right.
Well, dear, what are your thoughts?
I think as much as I like Laura Dale and want to see her do well in her career, maybe we ought to go with Mike Tyson. I mean, he's redeemed himself since his troubled earlier years as an ear biter, and he did a good job in the Hangover movie. I was really impressed by him, and the fact that he's doing this and trying to turn his life around and do something worthwhile instead of murdering somebody, I think deserves our support, don't you?
No, I don't. You might want to rethink your choice there, dear.
You're disagreeing with me, dear?
Yeah. Think again.
We'll be right back.
Not in the face, not in the face.
No. Call the witness protection program.
Shall I come downstairs and munch your ear?
Oh, that's rather exciting in some ways. But I digress. Why do you think Laura should get it over Mike?
Because poor Laura has not made it yet, and she deserves a shot at the big time. Give the girl a break. And Mike Tyson has had his time. It's Laura's turn.
It's Hollywood. Things aren't guaranteed for you. I mean, Mike went out there, and this is entertainment, and he has made it with Scooby-Doo, Mike Tyson Mysteries.
Laura is one of our people.
Well, that's true. She is someone we support.
The wind is changing, y'all.
And, that and the couch in the basement is very uncomfortable. Well, I see your point. Yeah, Laura Dale, I mean, she's one of our peeps, one of us. Okay. You've convinced me. All right, Laura Dale. I'm going to go with Laura Dale.
Good choice, dear.
Of course.
And the face free of tattoos, at least last we checked, wins. And so, congratulations. Actually, Laura Dale is a very pleasant person, and she is the winner of the first ever
what is the name of this thing?
Tourney of Madness crazy thing we did. That was
you have
Recommendation Madness.
You know, Kelly, you have to post that on her Facebook page that she defeated every contender that she came up against. She took out Mike Tyson.
Yeah, we will definitely. Laura's going to be informed, and the good thing is that Laura is actually a member of the Actually Laura Dale is a very pleasant person Facebook group. So we'll be able to post information there, and she'll be able to find it out. So we will tell Laura. We'll congratulate her. We'd like to thank all of the people that have helped us through this process. John and Helena, you had the heaviest lifting to do here at the end. We appreciate you guys helping us wrap it up. But we had Ashley and Alicia and Gerald and Matt and Sean and Mike and Kate and Amber Osborne. Did I get them all?
I think so. If we forgot any of you, I'm sorry. We're tired.
This has been a long tournament. Thank you all. Thank you, McGevnas, for helping us go through. And congratulations, Laura Dale.
Laura Dale, dark horse. There she goes. She took it in a clean sweep. I can't believe it.
Yep.
On my cello music.
You can contact us on our website, nurtureandsupport.net, or email us at nurtandsupp@gmail.com. That's NURTANDSUPP@gmail.com, or tweet us at nurtandsupp on Twitter. You can also catch Nurture and Support on YouTube. Just search Nurture and Support or Kelly Toole.
Nurturing and supporting. Darn it.
Oh.